Okay, so yesterday we solved one-step equations and inequalities. Today we're just going to focus on two-step equations. So when you do a two-step equations, it's called two steps for a reason because it takes 2 steps to solve it. So the first step is you undo the addition or subtraction. This will be the number without the letter, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But you will always touch the number that does not have the letter next to it. Okay? The second step is you undo the multiplication or division. And the reason why we do undo these is because we're doing the opposite of the orders of operation. So your first step will always be addition or subtraction, and the second step will always be multiplication or division. Okay, so that's one way to check yourself. Okay, so the first problem is 7x minus 3 is equal to 31. Generally, when I solve equations, I like to draw a line down the middle. So now I have a left side and I have a right side. The reason why I do this is because sometimes you don't always look at the same side where you start. This time I am going to look at the left side. The reason why I'm looking at the left side is because it has the variable, it has that letter x. So the number I'm going to look at will be the 3. I'm going to start with a 3 first because it has no letter. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, it says do, so we're doing 3, and the way we undo 3, well, since it's being added, you subtract it. So we undo it by subtracting. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So the reason why you undo it is so that way it cancels out. So this number this no longer exists. So now what you do is you just bring down your 7x because you didn't touch it. There's nothing attached to it anymore, so that's just 7x. And you do 31 minus 3, which is 28. Is it? That's not right. Huh. That's not right. I'm sorry. It is 28. Good. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. Brain started freaking out on me. So now we have 7x equals 28. So we're still looking at the left side. So now we're going to look at the 7. So that 7 is being multiplied. And I'm going to put a dot for multiplication. We don't use x's anymore. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to divide 7. So since that 7 is standing right next to the x, that means it's being multiplied. So the opposite is to divide 7 to both sides. So that cancels out. And now all we have left is an x. So now we do 28 divided by 7, which is 4. Okay? And instead of writing reason, we're going to write number line. Or we're just going to write solution. And we'll graph it. So you graph it is draw your number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we just put a dot above the answer number 4 because that's our solution. So the way we justify is we plug it back in. So we have 7x plus 3 is equal to 31. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if our answer is correct. So right now we're saying x is equal to 4. So we're going to take all our x's out and we're going to place them with what we think the answer is. We're going to replace them with 4. So now we just solve it. So we do 7 times 4, which is 28. And then we add 3, which is 31. So does 31 equal 31? Well, yes, it does. So that's the answer. Okay, so now you try one. So pause the video and try this one by yourself. Okay, so what you do is you draw your line. You have a left side and you have a right side. Well, last time we looked at the left. This time we're going to look at the right because that's where our letter is. So that's where our letter is. So the number I'm going to look at first will be 9. So I'll undo the negative 9 by adding 9 to both sides. So 26 plus 9 will be 35. bring down my equal sign, bring down the 5t that I haven't touched. Okay, so now we're on to our second step. So we're going to look at the number 5 because that's being multiplied. So then we're going to divide it. We're going to do the opposite and divide it to both sides. This leaves out a t, this cancels because that cancels out. 35 divided by 5 is 7. So my final answer is 7 equals t, or I can write it as t equals 7. It literally does not matter. So the answer would be A. All right, let's try the back side. So same idea. We have u divided by 9 plus 13 equals 67. So we're going to divide it. We have a left side and we have a right side. So we're going to look at the left side. Okay. So the number we're going to look at the left side would be 13. So what we're doing with that 13 is we're adding it. And the way we undo it is we'll subtract it. So we're going to subtract 13 from both sides. So 67 minus 13 is 54. And we bring down what we didn't touch, these because these cancel out. So u divided by 9. So that since that 9 is below the letter, that means it's being divided. Remember that line means to divide. So the 9 is being divided. So we opposite and we multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 9. So this cancels out. U comes down. We're going to do 54 times 9. If I can do it in my head, let's see. 486, I believe. Yes. So my final answer is 486. So instead of doing the reason, we're going to do the number line. So draw your number line. Let's just make this 483, 484, 485, 486, and then 487. And then the answer will go above 486. That's it. So now let's justify it. So the way we justify it, and I'm just going to show my work down here. We have u divided by 9 plus 13 equals 67. Okay? I am saying the answer is 486. So my u equals 486. So we're going to take the u out and put 486 in, and then solve it to see if it's true. So you're going to do 486 divided by 9, which is 54, and then you're going to add 13 to that. Well, 54 plus 13 is 67. So 67 does equal 67, so the answer is true. So we're correct. Okay. Now you pause the video and try this one by yourself. Okay. So I have a left side and I have a right side. This time I'm going to look at the right because that's where my letter is, my H. So the number I'm going to look at is 5. That 5 is being subtracted, so we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to add it to both sides. So it's 18 equals H over 6. So we're going to multiply 6 to both sides. This cancels out. H comes down. 18 times 6 is 108. And so that's our final answer. So the answer is C. And remember, you can always plug it back in to justify your answer. All right, that is two-step equations. Thank you, guys.